Welcome to the live stream, ladies and gentlemen. We are live streaming to YouTube and Twitter, as well as YouTube Shorts. So that's the new fancy thing that everybody seems to like is streaming to YouTube Shorts. So if you're joining on YouTube Shorts, hello, welcome. My name is JT. I am the founder and CEO of Black Box Trading Solutions. We build Bitcoin trading bots. If you are interested in Bitcoin and interested in making a passive income in Bitcoin, then welcome to the show. We got to talk about Bitcoin. We're going to take a look at the charts in just a moment. We got a decent close on the day, currently holding support. So we're going to go over kind of my bullish targets and what we would be expecting if we did break down from this level as well. So without any further ado, let's get into it. Let's talk about the king of all crypto. That is Bitcoin. All right. So we're here on the daily. I'm a big fan of this close. So we've kind of formed an inverse head and shoulders here as it stands right now. Okay. Obviously, that becomes invalidated with any close below, let's say, the close of this level. If you get a daily candle close below $54,000, we need to no longer consider this an inverse head and shoulders. But as it stands right now, we have our low, we have our lower low, and we are trying to print our higher low. And this candle, this hammer candle, is a decent candle. You know, credit where credit is due. That is a decent candle. So I don't hate this consolidation. It's not bad. When we look at things on the higher time frames, or when we look at things from a more broad perspective, we're just in this funky, annoying chop-solidation range that's just trying to fight and struggle around the previous cycle's all-time high. So it's not a terrible place to be in, but it has been quite choppy. But, you know, let's just kind of gain some perspective here. Let's go over to the monthly chart. It's kind of expected, you know. We are ahead of schedule as far as the Bitcoin price cycle is concerned, and we are front running the global liquidity cycle. So it's not surprising that we've come up to these levels and the consolidation is more extended. Typically speaking, once you get to the all-time high consolidation, it only lasts a few months. But in all prior cycles, it happened much later. We had a all-time high break on this cycle prior to the Bitcoin halving, which has never happened before. So that's what I mean when I say we're ahead of schedule. Usually you get an all-time high break past the halving. So from a time perspective, we're not ready to go into up-only mode just yet for Bitcoin. But from a price perspective, you know, we're up at all-time highs. There's not much for me to be bearish about. A lot of people, man, you know, it's a time, we're experiencing time-based capitulation. So many people are so bearish. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that when you have these extended periods of time in the context of Bitcoin dominance rising, altcoins decline with time. When Bitcoin's going up, altcoins do well. But when Bitcoin's trading sideways, they don't. The only time that Bitcoin does, or the only time that altcoins do well when Bitcoin is consolidating is after a period of time where the altcoins have already shown an outperformance and Bitcoin dominance is declining. We're not seeing that yet. So it's been very rough and hard to be in the cryptocurrency market if you are heavily exposed to altcoins, which is why I think, you know, a lot of people think that we're in a bear market. But we don't have much to point to that would indicate to me that we are in a bear market. We are in a bull market. We're just ahead of schedule. So we gotta complete this consolidation and then head to the next level. So where is the next level? Where are we headed after this? Let's go over to a weekly chart. And this to me is a bull flag. It's a bull flag. Sometimes you just got to keep it really, really simple. This whole consolidation to me is a bull flag. So we take the flagpole from the bottom of the breakout to the top of the extension, bring that up, and conservatively, you'd be looking at $96,000 with a breakout, let's say here to $112,000 for the first move. So once this consolidation breaks out, which I do believe it will, we'll be up at 100K very, very quickly. And that will cause a media frenzy, and a lot of people will be jumping in to Bitcoin at that point as they start to see, holy shit, Bitcoin's at 100K. What do I do? How do I get it? How do I buy it? Where do I buy it? Let me give you all my money. But let's go down to some smaller time frames. We just had a trade close on the Bangbox bot. So Bangbox just completed a trade. We're adding take profit levels to Bangbox, and I think that that's going to be a really, really nice addition to the strategy. The backtesting results are very similar between take profits and no take profits, but the profitability percentage is much, much higher. So currently, the way we have the bot structured right now is about 50% of the trades are losing trades. And from a sentiment point of view, from a user experience point of view, it's hard to be a user in a bot and consistently experience losses. Matt and I, we know the strategy. We've been trading it for years. We know that it works over the long term. But if you're new and you don't know that and you're uncomfortable, you're going to, question a lot of what's going on. So that's why we've added the take profits. It gets you to the same place at the same time. It just gets you there a little bit more consistently and slower trade per trade, but consistently brings profits. It's about 80% of the trades are profitable. 70 to 80% of the trades are profitable. But yeah, beautiful take profits levels. We're going to add these take profit levels to the Discord so that the take profit signals will be firing. Probably, I'm hoping to have that done by the end of the day today. If not, I will get it finished morning of tomorrow. But it's almost perfect because you see this. We get this all the time with Bangbox, where you get your entry signal, and we rally quite quickly up to the 5% mark. So we took our 5% take profit, we rallied into the 10% take profit, and then we got stopped out at the 2.7% profit. So with the way it's set up right now, 2.7% was the win. When you subtract fees, it's going to be different. But you captured all of these moves up here. You got a 5%, 25% of the position closed at 5, 25% of the position closed at 10. So we're going to be adding those signals to the Discord ASAP so that you guys can experience what the new bot is going to be doing. Let me know where you're from. Where is everybody tuning in from? I have not figured out the best time to go live. I know a lot of my audience watches the show from North America. It's difficult for me to stream to North America, me being in Asia. But let me know where you're joining in from. Hello from Bali. So let's take a look at what we can expect here. We do need a reset of the bot. A reset on the 15-minute, anything below the 128, currently sitting at 57.6. So if we get a close on the 15-minute below 57.6, that will reset the bot. This moving average is moving up, so it is a moving target. Every 15 minutes, it's a different price. But just lay the 128 moving average on your chart, and you'll be able to follow along. And we're beginning to consolidate here. And the consolidation so far does not look bearish. Now, it's very new. This consolidation is very young. It takes a little bit more time to develop. But as it stands right now, you've got a kind of an ascending triangle formation. So we've got kind of this situation as it stands right now. This can totally change. The 15-minute is not dependable, especially when you have so few touches. I wouldn't be surprised to see this consolidation change very shortly in the coming hours, but we do have the context of a pretty bullish daily close. So I would like to see some bullish price action as a result of that daily close where we can capture a few more points here. Phoenix, good morning. Phoenix, Arizona. Athens, Greece, 3:40 a.m. Go to bed, dude. Go to bed. Cool. We get a lot of people coming in from Europe. It's good to see. Welcome in. All right. So September. Is September going to be a green month? Is September going to be a green month? Let's go over to the monthly chart. Let's highlight a couple Septembers. Okay. So we got this September here. Let's do, how do we do the line quickly? The vertical line, horizontal, yeah, vertical line. Command V. All right. Command V. Command V. Let's just get all the Septembers on the chart here. Let's go to a logarithmic chart for this. Boston, welcome in. Boston. Company I used to work for is based out of Boston. Back in my old life as an arborist. Apologies for the radio silence. Just want to get all these Septembers marked down. Weren't you saying 100K by September? Well, we're in the beginning of September. Give me till the end of the month. Give me till the end of the month. A lot can happen in a very short amount of time. Am I as confident now as I was back then? No. But ultimately, you know, that the point of that video was to kind of counteract some of the bearishness that's out there. Like, people are just so bearish and it's not necessary. It's totally possible. It's totally possible that we could see 100K. Like I said, as soon as this consolidation breaks out, it's going. It's going. We're early September still. But, you know, if I was to adjust the probabilities, I think there is a more probable chance of us experiencing that pivot that we've been looking for in the market to hit in October. We'll see what happens at the FOMC meeting in September on the 18th. If it's a really big rate cut target, then you could see a big fuck you candle. It's not off the table, my friend. Hello from Australia. Welcome. All right, so we got a lot of Septembers, and most of them are red. But there is an interesting factoid that I want to introduce you to if you haven't already heard it yet on Twitter. And that is the fact that the outlying Septembers, these Septembers that performed well, just so happened to fall on election years. prior to an election. So that's a 4-year cycle. We can remove this one. We can remove this one, and we can remove this one, 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 and that's as far as back as we can go. So election year back in 2012, we had a green September. But here's what's even more interesting is it was a green September that ultimately responded with a market rally of 20,000%. Yeah, we're not going to get that, but you know, back then that was a very big deal. 20,000? No, that can't be right. Let's get a little bit more accurate there. 10,000. 10,000% rally after that. Then the election cycle September after that was also the beginning of the pivot into the bull market, where we had a 3,000% rally. Then the September after that was a red month, but not to fret, it did end up resulting in a 500% rally. This September could end up being green, could end up being red, could end up being a doji. But, you know, going back to the time-based expectations of what I'm looking for this cycle, we're about to enter phase 2. We're about to enter phase 2 of the bull market. Let me give a better visualization of phase 2. So September election year kicked off phase 2. September election year kicked off phase 2. September election year kicked off phase 2. And what I'm thinking is the trend is your friend until it ends. So September election year kicks off phase 2, where we go to $1 million a coin. What would a 500% increase? Let's do a 500% increase, which is bearish, by the way. We're going to do much better this cycle, I believe. 500, that's about 400K. That's about the market cap of gold, just under. So yeah, there's definitely a trend here. The trend is your friend until it ends. Is September going to be a bearish month? Well, the statistics would say yes. The statistics would say that September has the probability of being a red month. When we look at Septembers in the context of election years, then we have a 50-50 chance that it ends up being a green month. And when we look at the macro picture as far as the trend for the significance of election year September, we can expect a bull market after. So again, I'm not worried. I'm not worried. Fishing Fetish from Florida, welcome in. Not getting a ton of chat from the YouTube live streams. That's all good. Don't be shy, guys. If you have anything that you want me to take a look at, let me know. Happy to take a look at some stuff. So yeah, that's kind of the bigger picture. That's the bigger picture of where we are in this cycle. We can even go as far as to give a time estimate. You know, the amount of time, the amount of bars after September was 14 bars here, 15 bars here, 7 or 14 bars here if you include, this is kind of a dead cat bounce, but it was an all-time high. So, you know, 14 seems to be the number. So that puts us into November of 2025. From a time-based perspective, I'm not that bullish. I actually think this cycle has been moving fast. So I think our cycle concludes quickly as well. But yeah, it's still looking good. I figured we would dip until the 7th, then pump. What's the significance of the 7th, my friend? All right, let's ditch all these drawings. You guys get the point. Let's check out the 4-hourly, the intraday time frame. Get off of log, go back to auto. Intraday, we need to retest this level, in my opinion. So maybe we're looking at this short consolidation. We have a trend line to break. So we need to get above this downward sloping line of resistance. That's kind of the line in the sand where I would expect to see some acceleration. But how I expect us to get there would probably be a retest of this level and then a break, which is perfect. That resets the bot. That gives us an entry in before the acceleration takes place. And it just reconfirms what the market's trying to figure out, which is this is currently the support level that the bulls are defending. Past few drops in the beginning of the month were in the first week. Ah, okay. Gotcha. We did have it, though. We had the drop. So maybe that's what you're saying. I think people are more bearish than they need to be. And I had some guy say, we're going to 20K. I'm like, we're not going to 20K. The thing is, everything is possible, but everything also is assigned a probability. The highest probability that we have right now is that this support level holds. The second highest probability is that this 6-month, 7-month consolidation holds. And then below that, you can't make those reasonable targets, in my opinion. That would be great. It would be fantastic if we got down to those levels. I would be so happy if I was accumulating Bitcoin at around 40, 30, or 20K. But the probability attached to that happening is so low that it's just not worth wasting too much mental time on, in my opinion. What about the dip back to ETF levels around 42K? Again, it's possible. I just don't think it's probable. The higher, there's so much more. The probabilities of possibilities are over 60 to 70% that we remain inside of this channel. So is there a possibility we go down to 42? Yes, but it represents a 10, 20, maybe a 30% probability. It's just not probable. It's much more probable, 60 to 70% probable, that we remain inside of this consolidation that we've spent months creating. We've spent 177 days creating this consolidation. So there's a lot of structure built up here. It's more probable, it's most probable that we remain inside of this until you have a break of structure. Once you have a break of structure, then the probabilities completely flip. If we came below and had a high time frame close below, the probability of that 42 level coming into play is now at 70%. It's at a much higher probability level. But as it stands right now, in my opinion, this is the low. This is the probability that we stay here, and that 50K, 56, 54, that was it. That was the dip. This dip right here, this low right here at a level of 55,696 on the index chart, that was it. That was the low. 55K seems to be the sweet spot for the bottom. I agree. A lot of the people in the YouTube shorts feel that we're going to see a green September. 79% think we're going to see a green September. It's more bullish than I expected. All right, let's take a look at traditional finance for a moment, because that's where a lot of the bearish price action that we just experienced is coming from. But let's not lose sight of what's going on here. And we're in an uptrend. The trend is your friend until it ends. The unfortunate reality of this trend is until you take out this low, we're still in an uptrend. So you can experience a lot more downside and still be in a technical uptrend. But we're at all-time high levels. We got a short little rejection from the all-time high. I think we're going to just have a quick little reset before continuation and break the all-time high. Money is getting cheap, and the Fed is now targeting rate cuts. The only way that they can influence the rates, and I had somebody comment on one of my YouTube shorts saying that funding rate cuts don't exist, or funding rates don't exist. They do exist. They're just not set by the Fed. The Fed is not authorized to set rates. They can only influence the natural market of supply and demand between banks through issuing and constricting the money supply, creating and constricting the money supply. That's a really fancy way of saying how much money is being printed. When more money is being printed, rates go down. When less money is being printed, rates go up. But ultimately, the money printer is always printing. Money printer go burr. And that is the only thing that you really need to know about Bitcoin is a hedge against that inflation. Is there volatility? Yes, there's volatility. People don't understand Bitcoin. Even Bitcoiners, like a good majority of people who hold Bitcoin, don't understand Bitcoin. So we're so early in understanding this asset class, but ultimately it is mathematically a hedge against inflation because it has a set supply. It's really that simple. We don't need to overcomplicate it. Bitcoin has a set supply. Its monetary policy is set, and the Federal Reserve keeps printing money. All of the central banks around the world keep printing money. It's theft. It should be illegal. These behaviors that it's theft. It is literally theft. The governments are stealing your future. They're stealing your time. What is money? I'm going to do a little bit of a rant here, and then we'll go back into the S&P. What is money? Money is the physical representation of your time and your effort. When you go to work, you are giving that employer your time to produce a product that represents your effort. And in a perfect world, money would represent everybody's time and everybody's effort. But what governments are doing is they are printing money. They didn't require time and they didn't require effort. So they are stealing your time and they are stealing your effort. It's bad. It's really bad. And that's why Bitcoin was invented by the cypherpunks to combat that, because it is unjust. It is inhumane. It is robbery. The governments just don't have the fucking right to steal your time and money, to steal your time and effort. And this is why I Bitcoin. This is why, for me, Bitcoin is a hedge against inflation. You always get those trolls, oh yeah, it's a hedge against inflation. It only fell 50% from the all-time high. Like, fuck off, dude. Like, do you have a better idea? Do you have a better idea? There isn't a better idea. Bitcoin represents hope against corruption. All right, we'll leave it at that. We'll leave it at that. But yeah, back to the technicals of the traditional financial markets. I'm expecting an all-time high break. And when we have a breakout of this level, it's going to be a continuation pattern, and we're going to continue the uptrend. So let's take a look at the current uptrend. This is what we're looking at. So a continuation of this means that we can expect the S&P to reach, about 693 on the ETF price of the spider. It's just continuation of this trend. This trend is your friend. Let's actually put a parallel channel on here. Gives a better idea. The S&P just moves so cleanly. It's really clean. Oh, look at that. Look at where we're sitting. Nah. Got to stick around the mean. A little bit of an overthrow. I like this. So yeah, rejection from the mean. Rejection from the mean, we'll find support at the low. Ponzi scheme. Exactly. That's what everybody says. Black swan events seem to fit the probability curve on all sides. There is no probability of a black swan. That is the definition. That is the dictionary definition of a black swan. It's an unforeseen event. So you can't predict a black swan. Because if you could, it wouldn't be a black swan. The definition of a black swan is it can't be predicted. So much manipulation in the market. Seems Bitcoin could flip 50% higher or lower. I don't subscribe to manipulation of the markets. And a lot of people disagree with me on this, but I just don't think there's manipulations in the markets. Everybody thinks that the rich guy is trying to fuck the little guy. They're trying to win the competition, and they need to do what they need to do to win. And winning is not fucking over retail in a technical, like manipulating the money kind of a way. Whales can only sell when things are bullish. If you're a big position, like retail has a huge advantage over smart money in the sense that at any point they can enter or exit the market and they don't make a sound. They don't make a single movement. They are completely unnoticeable. You are the ninjas of the market. You can get in and you can get out. Nobody will hear a thing. Large positions can't do that. They don't have the ability to enter or exit positions unnoticed. And because of that, they lose a lot of money. If they sell on a selling event, they lose so much money to slippage. They lose so much money to spread that it becomes cost prohibitive for them to exit positions that are on a downtrend. So they are forced to sell into strength. They are forced to sell into an uptrend. They don't have a choice because the only way the market is liquid enough to even entertain them selling is during periods of bullish price action and high volume. That's the only time that they can even sell. So I don't personally subscribe to the narrative of market manipulation. The market is comprised of different level traders with different level accounts that are all trying to win the same game. And when you get into the big leagues and you literally don't have the opportunity to sell because you lose all of your profits by selling on a downtrend, you're forced to play the game completely differently. You're forced to play it in a way where you have to sell on the way up. You can only sell. Your orders will only fill on the way up. It's a very different game. We're talking about money that most people, it's inconceivable, you know, like multi-million-dollar positions, $500 million positions. Like you can't just move a $500 million position. You're not fluid. You don't have the mobility. And to think that somebody with a $500 million position can be like, oh yeah, we're gonna fuck over retail by doing this, that, and the other. It's just not logical in my mind. A lot of people disagree with me on that. Let's take a look at the NASDAQ. NASDAQ didn't get to the all-time high. So the appetite for risk is still very conservative. The S&P, basically, did the S&P make a new high? No, it didn't. It got just shy of a new all-time high. Yeah, just shy of a new all-time high. And the NASDAQ didn't even get close. The NASDAQ didn't get close to that. So it's definitely got a macro lower high, which is the beginning of a downtrend. Again, the uptrend is still intact, but if we take out this low, now we have an established downtrend in the NASDAQ. So the NASDAQ is showing a lot more weakness comparative to the S&P, which is showing that the market is making bets, but those bets are quite conservative. We don't have cheap money yet. When cheap money enters the system, we'll start to see the risk on stuff really start to take off. What about the epic correction that everyone talks about for all markets leading into massive recession? I think that comes in 2026 because it's going to follow the global, money supply cycles. We're entering a period of currency issuance, and the currency issuance period is probably going to last about a year. And during currency issuance periods, asset prices rise. Asset prices rise, the cost of living rises, rents go up, groceries go up, gas goes up, everything goes up. And then the liquidity cycle will contract. And that contraction will likely cause some sort of instability in the markets that could result in a crash. And then when you compound that onto the fact that that everyday life has become very, very difficult, and now people are losing jobs, now you have a recession. But the goalposts of a recession are always moving, which is stupid. You know, by the standards of 20 years ago, we're already in a recession. But that doesn't seem to be the case. Pups, world peace. Yeah, right. Sure. I love how puppy coins are so popular. Always be aware of the latest and greatest scam. If you get into the scam early, you can dump on morons, but never for 1 second should you ever think that those are investments. Those are gambles, my friend. People gamble. People like to gamble. I like going to Vegas. I like throwing the dice, playing some craps. Nothing wrong with a little bit of gambling as long as you know you're gambling. If you don't know you're gambling and you think you're investing, that's dangerous. There's no such thing as a meme coin investment. All right, let's take a look at the dollar. We're sitting on support, so it could go either way here as far as the dollar's strength. Now, given the fact that I'm expecting the money supply to increase, I think that there's a more than probable chance that we actually break this this consolidation to the downside. So as money becomes cheap, it needs to be valued less, right? So that would kind of be the turning point of breaking this structure to the downside. If we get a break of structure to the downside, S&P is going to be making all-time highs. NASDAQ is going to be making all-time highs. Bitcoin is going to be making all-time highs. Altcoins are going to start to recover as well. So that's what you want to see. What you don't want to see is a rally back up to the top. If we get a rally back up to the top, we're going to see a pretty large correction in the S&P, which is going to have the trickle-down effects of the NASDAQ, Bitcoin, and other risk-on assets. Another possibility as well is that we could come up to the mean of this consolidation and then get a turnaround. So those are the three things to look out for the DXY. Given the fundamentals of what I'm expecting with money, if I was to choose the highest probability of those three options, I'm actually choosing that we break the structure below, consolidate, and then take a new leg down. considering the fact that the money supply is going to be increasing for the next year. Let's say I give that a 40% probability and a 30%. No, I'll give it a 50% probability that we break below, and then a 25-25 for the other two probabilities. So we are going into recession? Yes. Eventually, because that's the way the system is set up, unfortunately. Because of the fact that governments borrow your future time and your future effort, eventually the people who created that, who generated that effort and who traded their time, the economy needs to pay it back. If we didn't have money printing, we wouldn't have these booms and busts. But for whatever reason, with Keynesian economics, we have chosen to take this boom and bust cycle where you have, large expansions of civilization and then down into a recession. So a recession is guaranteed. It's just a matter of when. A recession is guaranteed. It's just a matter of how long it's going to take. And if I was to guess, I'm thinking that happens at the end of this money inflation cycle, which is going to take place in about a year. So we'd be looking at 2025, 2026 is my guess. CBDC will follow in 2027. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point, New Age. I guarantee it. New Age is, he knows what he's talking about, so I'm not necessarily talking to him, but a CBDC will be launched as a solution to a problem that the government created. The government is going to trash the markets, and then they are going to move everybody over to a digital wallet. They'll say, hey, as part of our support program here in the United States or here in Europe, in the European Union, we want to help. We want to help the working man. We want to help them achieve their financial goals so that they're not stressing about putting fuel in the car and they're not stressing about groceries. So we're going to give this stimulus package. All you got to do is go onto the App Store, download this wallet and put in your social security number. There will be $5,000 waiting for you in that account. I guarantee you this is going to happen. And a CBDC will be launched, and shit's going to get weird. In the next decade, things are going to get they're either going to get very bad or they're going to get very, very good, or there's going to be a mixture of both, and the distinction between the two is where you live. I think countries that adopt Bitcoin are going to do well, and I think countries that restrict Bitcoin are going to do poorly. And I think you can't have a country that embraces Bitcoin while at the same time embracing a CBDC. Could be wrong. I could be wrong. The US might do something like that. If they can become a middleman somewhere, they usually take that opportunity. So if they can be a middleman in Bitcoin and a CBDC, they'll do that. But yeah. When will the crypto bull market start? I hear mixed dates. September 9th at around 5 o'clock. UTC. Only a few more days. I'm being facetious, by the way. Time is extremely hard to quantify. You can't really peg time on a micro scale. You can peg time on a macro scale. You can absolutely have expectations year to year, but you can't have expectations day to day. That's pretty much impossible. And it's not great to have expectations month to month even, or quarter to quarter. Year to year is easy. Let me just quickly check in on Twitter. Been streaming on Twitter. You can peg time on a macro scale. I don't even know. 5 people are watching on Twitter. I don't even know how you comment on Twitter. Anyways, we're live on Twitter too. I know this is a low-level question, but you think we can see the altcoins run we saw in 2021 in 2025? I do, but here's the thing about altcoins. And we have enough data now to kind of point to this. Altcoins are every cycle has its own roster of altcoins that do well. So if what you're talking about are specifically the altcoins from 2021, I think yes, they will experience positive price action, but I also think that they're not going to run like they did in 2021. There's new coins now. And the new coins are going to run this cycle like they did in the last cycle. And I can show you exactly what I mean by this. Let's go over to these Bitcoin pairs. Let's take a look at Cardano BTC. And let's go to a monthly scale. It's important for me to make the point here on a Bitcoin comparative because it paints a better picture. So yes, did altcoins run in 2021? Yes, they did. But they barely made it past all-time highs to the prior cycle in 2017. And in fact, the 2017 highs were higher. So the altcoin is in a technical downtrend. So the expectation for Cardano this cycle is, yes, it will go up. We'll see Cardano go up. But in Bitcoin terms, it's going to be a smaller cycle. And that will translate to dollar terms as well, as far as an outperformance. Let's take a look at Bitcoin Cash. Bitcoin Cash didn't even stand a chance. 2017 and 2021, like this is dead. Bitcoin Cash is dead. So here's the 2017 cycle. Here's the 2021 cycle. Did it go up? Yes, it went up. Is it noteworthy? No. Because it's from the cycle prior. Let's take a look at Doge. We need a longer chart for Doge. Doge BTC. Binance. Now there are outliers. So Doge actually had a much better cycle. The fundamentals of that being that Elon Musk was posting about it so much. But here is one that had an uptrend. So here's the 2017 cycle here. So before Elon Musk, it was in a downtrend. Doge is an OG. It had a rally in 2014. It had a rally in 2017, but it was in a downtrend. And then it had the 2021 bull market due to Elon Musk. So do I expect Doge to do well? Yes, I do. I expect Doge to begin to see an outperformance, but I also expect it to put in a new low. So it's more about the new coins. Every cycle, it'll be about the new coins. Another really good comparative is Ethereum BTC with, let's actually get a different chart so it's clean. With Solana BTC. Do you see what I mean? So this Ethereum did incredible. This is Ethereum's price cycle in 2017. Ethereum also did well in 2021. But did it do as well as a new coin? No, not even fucking close. Not even fucking close. So if you're holding, the point I'm trying to make is if you're holding coins from the last cycle, don't expect them to do what they did last cycle, especially if those coins came into existence last cycle. The biggest gainers are going to be coins that were created during the bear market of this cycle or created early on in the bull market of this cycle. So 2022, 2023, if those coins were created in 2022 to 2023, those are going to be the coins that are going to experience large gains. And it's not going to be the ones from prior cycles. FET will explode. Based off of what I'm saying here now, I don't think FET will explode compared to another AI coin like Wild or a new coin. Let's actually do a comparison here. Let's take a look at FET BTC. Fetch AI. Let's take away Sol. And I think it's WorldCoin. And you can see, right? Will FET go up? Yes. But is it going to go up harder than a new coin? No, it's not. In my opinion, it's not. Will WIF regain all-time high? So this is where it's anybody's guess. Memes have no fundamental value whatsoever other than the fact that people like to gamble on them. And like I said, you know, there's nothing wrong with gambling as long as you know that you're gambling and you allocate positions the same way that you would allocate positions on a craps table or a poker table. Know that you're gambling. The thing is with the memes is it's an insider's game. It's an insider's game with the creator of the token, the influencers, and all the people who are shilling these effectively pump and dumps. You know going into it that it's a pump and dump. And what you're hoping is that you can exit at a higher price before the dump. So will WIF do well? Yeah. But the shelf life of a altcoin, especially a meme coin, the shelf life of that is much smaller, I think. You know, with the other coins that actually have some sort of a fundamental backing or some sort of fundamental roadmap, they might last an entire cycle and lose value cycle to cycle. Whereas a meme coin might lose value inside of a macro cycle. Like, you know, you have meme coin season, then you'll have like AI season, then you'll have DeFi season, all within the macro cycle. The meme coin might actually lose value between each of these inner mania phases. So will WIF return? I don't know. Let's take a look at WIF. Let's take a whiff of WIF. But this is a new coin, right? This is a new coin. So if ever there was a coin to bet on, emphasis on bet, because it is a gamble, you could look at that. I see BTC peaked around 165K. Oh, you see BTC peaking around 165K end of January 2025. I have much more bullish targets, but your targets are valid. I do have much more optimistic targets than you. What do you think the odds are we are already in a recession and ready to start coming out? Low. I do think we are in a recession as far as spending. Retail spending is really, really low. We're in a recession in terms of production. You know, GDP has been in a downtrend. That is a recession by technical definition. And the only thing that's going to come out is asset prices. But asset prices are not real life. Asset prices are not the general economy. Asset prices aren't your life getting easier. I actually think that day-to-day life and day-to-day spending is going to increase, which is going to make it very difficult for people. While the rich keep getting richer, the poor are going to keep getting poorer. And then the rich are going to take profits when the poor people finally try and scrap a few dollars together to put into this market that keeps going up. And then we're going to see a dump in the asset prices and be left with the remnants of high inflation as well. So I'm putting my money on there's still a recession to come. Is meme coins still do well in the next run? I believe so. I believe there will be a meme coin season. Will WIF regain all-time high? I don't know. There was talk of putting WIF on Las Vegas Sphere. Did that happen? I have no idea. But this is the whole thing about meme coins. There's no fundamentals to it whatsoever. It's all about marketing. How hard can you market it? That's it. How hard can you market this garbage that does nothing? How hard can you peddle a product that's simply gambling? If they run out of funding dollars, which they don't seem to be flush with cash right now, if they decide to not do more marketing, then it's probably not going to reach all-time highs. And employments are down. Exactly. Yeah. Can you see the Theta chart? I missed my opportunity to sell the last cycle and kicking myself. What is its potential this run? Yeah. Theta. I think the easiest way to approach offloading bags from prior cycles, I don't like to give financial advice, but here's what I would do. Is I would not pay attention to the US dollar price. I would pay attention to the Bitcoin price and try and get it with any sort of trend that has been established on the Bitcoin price. Let's see if we can get no. Theta. So I would try and get some sort of, yeah, that's not a very nice chart, is it? I'll try and give you an optimistic point of view. Let's go with something like that. I would try and get, in Bitcoin terms, somewhere up here. If Bitcoin's ripping and Theta is able to catch up to Bitcoin's market cap, the US dollar price is gonna look a lot better than this. The point I'm trying to make is just keep an eye on the Bitcoin price, because the smart money is going to be watching this price more than they're going to be watching the US dollar price. And if they're watching this price, this is what you want. You want to see the same thing that smart money is looking at. So that's what I would be looking at for Theta. Whatever the dollar price is, when this line is hit, is probably a good time to at least close some of the position. Again, I'm not giving you financial advice or instruction on how to handle your account, but that's what I would do. Is I would cut some of the position at that level, and if we saw higher prices from there, fantastic. And I'll employ different methods with the US dollar chart to try and sell on the cycle. Let's take a quick peek over at some ordinals. If you guys haven't already joined the Discord, hit the join community tab on the website. Go to blackbox.pro. That is blkbox.pro. And at the very top, you'll see a join community button. Get into the Discord so that we can continue the conversation, because we're there all the time. We got a huge community now. There's at least 1,400 people in the community, and we're focused on Bitcoin. We're focused on trading. We're focused on different, we are focused on altcoins when it makes sense. So if you want to have kind of market assistance, then go check that out. Let's go. BTC peak January 2025, 95K. Higher than that by January 2025, my friend. Cryptopreneur. That's my target for the breakout of this consolidation. I think we see 95K before the year is out. That's what we're talking about. But yeah, and if you are here, you can also start a free account of blackbox.pro. This has our trading bot. It trades Bitcoin on the short-term time frames, stacks you sats. If you use coin margin, it is constantly stacking sats and increasing your Bitcoin position. There is the dollar pair as well. And then we are reintroducing the long-term swing trading bot probably by next month. I'm hoping by next month we will have that reintroduced, but we also have all the signals fed into the Discord. So everything's free. The only catch is that you have to sign up with one of our partnered exchanges. So if you're trading on Binance, that's not going to work. We got to get you over to one of our partners. Once you have signed up under our affiliate links, you send me your UID and you get full access to all of these premium features and all of these premium bots. It's 100% free forever, but that is the only catch. What was I going to do? I was going to take a look at some ordinals. Let's take a look at how them Nat Cats doing. Nat Cats had a little bump. Nat Cats. There we go. Let's take a look at the price of Nat Cats. Had a little bit of bump, having a retracement. Let's get the chart going. Let's go over to, let's turn this onto a trading view chart. I like them trading view charts. And it's trying to kick the trend. It's trying to kick the downtrend. So NatCat's really flatlined here. They really flatlined here in July. And we got a little bit of bullishness. People are waking up to the fact that these are going to entitle them to mint a lot of other projects for free. Similar to how Bored Ape Yacht Club was able to mint mutant apes. Except it's that on steroids, because you're going to have a whole bunch of other coins and other projects that you can mint as a result of holding a NatCat. Similar story on bitmaps, but NatCat supply is much, much lower. Let's take a look at some of the other collections here. Runestones. 1 day floor. No, I want 7-day floor. There we go. Actually, let's do 30-day floor. Screwed it up. Let's see volume. 30-day volume. Node monkeys up 20%. Huge volume. Runestones. If you're going to dabble in the ordinal space, by the way, don't get cheeky with it. Like, stick to top tier blue chip projects. There's absolutely no reason. You're already putting on so much fucking risk by even playing in the ordinal space. Don't compound that risk by going for some obscure, stupid token that nobody's ever heard of and nobody ever will. Stick to like top 3, top 5 projects, period. All of these are solid choices. Runestones, Bitcoin Puppets, Quantum Cats, Ordinal Maxi Biz, FSIC. I don't know that one. That one's new. Pizza Ninjas. I would actually look out for that one. I have no idea what that one is. RSIC, Bitmaps, NatCats, Bitcoin Frogs. Yeah, I wouldn't go much further past Bitcoin Frogs. Let's see what Bitcoin Frogs is doing, actually. Link, please. Sure. Send you guys a link. I'm so bad at self-promotion. All right, that's a link to the website. That is a link to the website, and you can click the Join Community tab right at the top here. See you in there. I'm there all the fucking time. All right, let's see what's going on with these frogs. Yeah, frogs are still bottoming. I think NatCats is the better play. Frogs are still bottoming. They haven't quite shown an outperformance just yet. Time for this, time duration, time expectation for any of these ordinal projects is months. Don't expect anything from these things for the rest of this year. You might get a little bit of gains here and there, but I wouldn't be looking at selling any position that I would be acquiring at these levels until next year. So take that into consideration. These are medium-term holds to long-term holds. What that means is if you take a position, don't even fucking look at it. There's no point. There's no point in looking at it because you're not going to sell it. Why look at something you're not going to sell? Take a look at it in a year. See how the runes are doing. Dog go to moon. Nothing. Nothing. Oh, we got to go to 30-day. Yeah, nothing. RSIC. There's some stuff going on with RSIC. They're bringing some actual miners into the metaverse. So they're getting a lot of attention, but they're probably currently overhyped at the moment. But that's one to keep an eye on maybe. But yeah, runes are kind of still under the category of bullshit. Bitcoin puppets will be top 10 ordinal set to win Pups World Peace. Oh, that's what Pups is. I was thinking of like puppies, not puppets. Okay. Yeah, Bitcoin puppets. Where are the puppets? There we go. Pups World Peace is the rune token. And the collection. Well, let's actually take a look at both of those. Bitcoin puppets. Let's see how the NFT is doing. The ordinal itself. I like that they have a catchphrase, Pups World Peace. Let's go to the daily chart. I'm not expecting any of these to really. Yeah, this looks similar to Bitcoin frogs. So it hasn't quite bottomed yet. But I mean, like, when I say it hasn't quite bottomed yet, we're so close to a bottom. This is pretty much a bottom. It doesn't get, like, we've flattened out. We're at or near a bottom. So don't chop and change it too much. Like, if you were to buy, you're not expecting to sell this in a few weeks or a few months. If you were to buy now, you're expecting to sell this in about a year. So, you know, a year's worth of consolidation, a lot will change. Bitcoin Puppets has a lot of community engagement, that's for sure. Let's take a look at Pups for World Peace. Let's take a look at their shitcoin. And it's a very correlated chart. So it's at a low. It's you know, down there, 50 sats per pup. This isn't something that I would expect to do a quick flip or a quick return on. For sure, the next phase will be epic run for ordinals and runes. I totally agree. You know, earlier in the show, we were talking about new coins. What is even better than new coins is new protocol standards. And the whole market is sleeping on ordinals. They really are. You know, the biggest influencers in crypto aren't talking about ordinals. And if you're going to have a shitcoin, you better put it on the Bitcoin network. Bitcoin has such a stigma that you can't make any money in Bitcoin. And that's why I think the people who are going to make the most money are going to make it on Bitcoin. I think just to defeat that narrative, just to, you know, stick the knife in and say, ha, you were wrong. That fucking narrative that you believe that nobody can make money in Bitcoin, it has to be presented as bullshit. You have to have, the market is the best teacher you can have. And you watch the biggest gainers, I think, this cycle I think one of the biggest gainers that we will see by the end of this cycle, you can only look retroactively. You can't really predict the future. But what I anticipate is one of the biggest project gainers that we will see this cycle will be somehow related to Ordinals and will be on the Bitcoin network. Just to prove a point. Just to prove a point. All right, I think I've yammered on long enough here. So I think I'm going to sign off. Let's see what Bitcoin's doing before I do that. We got to get below that 128 so we can get a bot reset. I think we will. If you guys want access to the bot, start a BitGet account using our links and you can get into this trade. You can probably, like, if you do it quickly, you'll be able to get into this next trade, no problem. But yeah, that is all the time I have for today. If you guys enjoyed this content, please leave it a like. Don't forget to subscribe. Share this with your friends. Share this with your family. Share this with anybody that will listen to you about fucking Bitcoin. And